Welcome to Rockay City, where we're going to be participating in the world's greatest get-rich-quick scheme, crime. And that can be anything from robbing a bank, to stealing government assets, to stealing more government assets, to robbing other criminals. I played this game a lot, and I decided to kind of challenge myself. I am going to play through the entire campaign, which is admittedly very short because it's a developer campaign, using only Travis Baker, the main character. And that includes any mission type where I would be forced to play as another character. So this game's kind of difficult. This means I'm not going to have any covering fire, any backup, or anything fun like that. Let's get right into it. First things first, we're going to buy soldiers, elect a mission, then look at the absolute travesty that is the BURP SMG. 2-round burst for a submachine gun? Really? Then we'll decide, whatever, I'll buy a new gun later and just get on with the mission. Breaking into the first security room and seeing a absolutely bone-chilling sight upon closing the door behind me, of all the guards sitting there watching TV. Alright, loop around the front, creep in the front door, and see what they're all doing. They are all watching a black screen. Okay, cool. Thinking quickly, I jumped near the boxes, threw a brick, and proceeded to pistol whip every single one of the guards, getting a little sticky with the last one, before tying them all up. And with that, all 4 guards on the map are nice and secure, no one is injured, and it leaves me nice and free to steal everything not nailed down. It took me just 2 trips to get everything from inside the warehouse into the escape van, and then Travis decided there were more people with him than there were, and, 43k worth of cocaine, nice and secure. Afterwards I figured second verse should be same as the first, and broke and enter into another warehouse. Stealth is going to be the name of the game for this, because I'm never going to have anyone covering my ass. This guard almost covered my ass, though, since, I played it a little too close to the stairs. After introducing guards 1, 2, and 3 to the butt of my pistol, I head back into the warehouse to see what we were working with, and it happened to be more cocaine. Guard number 4 decided he really just had to finish writing that note before, putting everything away after being smacked in the back of the head. And then it was time to start hauling. Bagging loot in Rockay City works like this. You can carry up to 2 bags, but when you have 2 on you, you can't use your primary weapon, and you have an incredibly debuffed amount of movement. I use a little trick where by carrying 1 bag and nearly filling a second one, you can pick up a full bag off the ground and carry more equipment. This is going to be instrumental to this run, since I'm going to be the only person in the heist who can carry anything. Using this trick, I managed to get out as the alarm was being called, meaning both my heists for the day have ended in success. And now it's on to the second portion of the game, the non-heisting section, or the turf war section. The turf war section of the game looks like this. See this map? We want it filled with blue. In order to do that, we have to use our soldiers to capture different areas at different points. Using the ones I have available to me, I capture 3 areas and watch Michael Rooker, dance around in the background like an idiot. Sounds about right. After performing all of these, our respect level goes up, which means I can buy more soldiers, which means I can capture more territory, but, more importantly, I can also upgrade my army. Remember how we stole all that cocaine from the warehouses? That means that we can trade that instead of our hard-earned cash in order to upgrade the tier of our army, meaning before we have to do a single turf war, quote-unquote, we can have a tier 2 army, meaning better weapons, better equipment, better consumables, better everything. Going into day 2 with a tier 2 army means we'll be stronger than almost anyone we actually have to face at the moment. This is going to be a huge boon going forward. Moving into day 2, and we start getting intel on the first big heist of the game. These are multi-stage heists that can typically take place over multiple days. This first one is about Khan smuggling in a large amount of cocaine from somewhere, and we have to figure out which boat it is he is using to smuggle it in, as well as how we can get onto it in the first place. In order to figure out which boat it is, we have 2 options. The first is to pose as big-time coke buyers, spending a large amount of money to try and coax it out of him which boat he's using. The second way is to release one of his lieutenants who have been captured by Hielo, one of the gang members in the city, who, we're already at war with, so why not take care of that?
Force him to tell us about
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Out the yacht by posing as big-time coke customers.
Starting our missions for day 2 with knocking over an armored truck, pretty uneventful, and then heading to the area where Hielo is holding the dealer. It goes as you expect: sneak in, commit a murder, hide a body, find the location where he's being held, and then go full-blown Reaper mode on all of the fucking staff. Nice and easy. Afterwards, we let him go and lead him back to the van. Afterwards, him and Travis have a nice discussion about which yacht it's on, where definitely no one was harmed. Then I attack Hilo. Day 3. Buy M4, buy throwing knife, get into a squabble with the local police enforcement about the contents of a cash truck, escape with over $100,000. Now it's time for the big one, let's run it down. Breaking and entering, check. Jump onto the pier, check. Secure the keycard to get to the boat. That's gonna be a check from that one. Get spotted and ruin everything. Wait a minute. Oh. Oh no. We'll cue the music, I guess. I made it out. After the events at the pier, we cut to the lieutenant and the sheriff talking about the shootout at the harbor that we ended up causing. Apparently they've been tracking con shipments for months and were planning a sting operation when we showed up and kinda ruined that by taking everything. By the way, did I mention that the sheriff in this game is played by Chuck fucking Norris? Anyway, being the good citizen that I am, I decide to turn in all of the cocaine, thus arresting Khan and freeing up all of his territories. However, in the process, it did piss off the other gangs. Whatever, pissing them off was part of the plan all along. Afterwards, I used my army to capture the now unclaimed territory, giving me 7 new turfs to control, as well as unlocking the mission for the maximum tier of my army, making us effectively powerhouses as soon as I can complete it. Seeing how Dollar Dragon's troops were still at tier 1, I decided to send some soldiers to capture 2 areas with the price of 1 capture. This resulted in not only gaining those 2 areas under my own control, but also my respect level going up again, allowing me to buy more soldiers, keeping the ball rolling and getting another territory. We made it out of day 3 with 10 territory captures, and moving straight to day 4. On day 4, Nasara points out that there are new cash trucks in the city, and while those are important, they're gonna have to take a back seat, because we got a couple missions to take care of first. Namely, upgrading our army by stealing military equipment. Upon arriving at the warehouse that's being stored at, we notice the door is locked, and in my classic fashion, I nearly get caught 10 feet away and then decide, screw it, we're going loud. Afterwards we end up with, oh god, that's a lot of bombs. Oh well, bag it up and make a sort of clean getaway. Afterwards, since it's going to take about a day for my army to be upgraded, I decided, you know what, maybe I should give my army a hand, and took on a mission that would, you know, conquer me multiple territories while not spending any of my other resources. This mission requires me to destroy cars, and it's easier done quietly, which is going to require stealth, tactics, and timing. Or just blitz it with a katana. Afterwards, I decide to take on the last 2 areas Dollar Dragon controls, driving him out of the city, which means we have 3 enemy gangs down and only 1 to go. The Scudos, led by Cagnali, or the evolution of the Italian Mafia, or the Italian PMCs. Even though they're attacking this territory and my army is a tier behind, I'd rather not lose it, so I come up with the absolutely brilliant tactical play of going, fuck it, send everyone. Apart from the SWAT deciding to give us a hard time, this was a pretty straightforward shootout where we only took a small handful of casualties. Then it was on to day 5, where I decided to hit the first 2 of the 3 cash trucks moving around the city. The first one was an uneventful shootout. The second one, however, I technically completed in stealth. Stealth works on a 3-strike system, and it turns out if you're fast enough you can get a lot more than 3 strikes. Meaning no alarms were sounded, and I managed to clear it. Not bad if I say so myself. A couple more shootouts at a couple of different underpasses, and Cagnali was down to just one last territory, moving into day 6, which would be the final day for this challenge. Day 6 started with a saw and grab on the last armored truck, and then I got the brilliant idea to hit Cagnali where it hurts and steal some drugs from one of her warehouses before sending my troops to finish her off. Turns out this was a mistake, because as I snuck onto the property, I got shot at immediately by a fucking robot. I guess she watched RoboCop recently and got the brilliant idea to make an Alex Murphy of her own, but that's not gonna last. After taking them out and enduring a long SWAT wave, I sent my remaining troops straight to her fortress to take her on. And this is where it ended. Right on Cagnali's doorstep. And honestly, kudos to her for actually stepping out to fight my army directly, armed with a minigun. None of the other gang leaders had that courtesy, so it was kind of refreshing to see. But she still fell, just like all the rest. And with that, we've done it. The city is ours. Rockay City is now completely under our control, or at least the crime side of it is. This video was fun to do, so if you enjoyed it, leave a like and consider subscribing. Or don't. I'm not your dad, so whatever. Thanks for watching. Bye.